You know, we all think we know the story, right? End of third year, Harry and Hermione, they grab a time turner and they save an innocent man and a hippogriff. But what if one tiny, split-second decision in a dark hallway just changed everything that came after? Okay, let's dive into this rewritten timeline and see how a single stitch in time completely unravels the story we thought we knew. So, we start at a moment we all recognize. Sirius Black is trapped, the executioner's on his way, and bam! Harry swoops in on Buckbeak with this perfectly timed, kind of cheeky line. He and Hermione have just pulled off the rescue, and now the clock is ticking. This is the story as we know it, right down to the very last second. Okay, so Sirius is flying free on Buckbeak, but the mission is far from over. Harry and Hermione have like minutes to get all the way back to the hospitaling before Dumbledore locks them in. It's this frantic race against time across the whole castle, and look, if they get caught, the consequences are going to be, well, pretty dire. So, as they're sprinting down a corridor, Harry hears footsteps, and his heart just drops. He realizes two things almost instantly. One, that's a prefect on patrol. And two, they're heading straight back towards Gryffindor Tower, which makes them look guilty just for being there. And who is it? Of course, it's Hufflepuff's own Cedric Diggory, and he's about to round the corner. They're totally trapped. Harry's mind is just racing. He needs a cover story, and he needs it like yesterday. He yanks Hermione into a darkened window alcove, and with a quick, "Trust me," he kisses her. The plan is actually brilliant in its simplicity. Get caught doing something minor, like snogging after curfew, so the prefect doesn't even think to question the much, much bigger time-traveling, fugitive-aiding crime they actually just committed. And right there, that's it. That is the stitch. That single desperate move is the first huge divergence point from the story we all know. It starts out as this clever lie, but what it unleashes is something so much more real. It sets off a chain reaction that's going to redefine friendships, family, and, honestly, Harry's entire future. Now, what's really fascinating here is how you can see this incredibly rapid emotional shift. That first kiss, the one in the hallway, that was a tactic. It was frantic, it was public, and it was born purely out of desperation. But it opened a door, because the second kiss, which happens the very next morning, well, that's entirely different. It's private, it's intimate, and it's not a plan. It's a beginning. After they're safe, Hermione confronts him. I mean, she knows Harry well enough to realize that kiss wasn't just some act. And so Harry, cornered, finally just admits the truth. He lays all his insecurities out there, calling himself a skinny trouble magnet, and confesses these feelings he's had for a while, fully expecting to be rejected. It's this moment of incredible vulnerability for the boy who lived. But this is what he gets back. Hermione just calls him a silly prat and immediately reassures him. She starts listing all the reasons she likes him, jumping on a troll's back for her, sitting with her when she was petrified. She admits she never thought he'd choose her, a bushy-haired bookworm. Turns out the feelings were mutual all along, just hiding right under the surface of their friendship. So the crucial thing here is, this isn't a secret they keep. The Golden Trio is now, officially, a couple and their best friend. The entire dynamic of their group has been fundamentally changed, and the first person they have to bring into this new reality is Ron Weasley. And Ron's reaction is, well, it's perfectly Ron. He doesn't get angry, he doesn't get jealous, he just looks at Harry, the famous Gryffindor seeker who could have almost any girl in the castle, and he just asks, simply, why? Why Hermione? In his head, she's all bushy hair and books. He just doesn't get it. And this is where Hermione, ever the logician, steps in with what we can basically call the sibling analogy. She gets Ron to admit that he sees her like a sister, and because of that, he's just blind to her romantic appeal, the exact same way he's blind to Ginny's. It's not a shot at Hermione, it's just an observation about his own perspective. And for Ron, it just clicks. And just like that, Ron gets it. He gives them his blessing, complete with a classic brotherly threat to Harry if he ever hurts her. The trio is still the trio, but the foundation has totally shifted. They're stronger, their bonds are different, and they're going to move forward into their fourth year as a completely new unit. All right, let's pivot to our second divergence point, which is running parallel to all this. While Harry and Hermione are busy redefining their relationship, Sirius is on the run. He's a desperate man with absolutely nowhere to go. He's free, yeah, but he's also completely alone, and he needs a safe place to hide fast. So he's running through all the options in his head. The Black family home? The Wards would kill him on sight. His old flat? Long gone. Rented out to someone else. And Potter Cottage, which was once a place of so much happiness, is now just this grim monument. None of the places that ever felt like home are even an option for him. He's a true outcast.
But then, a memory starts to surface. A place he stayed one summer when he ran away from home. Potter Manor. It was the home of James's uncle and aunt, Charles and Doria Potter. He figures they must be dead by now, but he's hoping, praying, that the old family Wards might still recognize him and give him shelter. It is his last desperate hope.
When he finally gets there, he pushes open the door and is met with this absolutely horrific sight. The entrance hall is a tomb. He instantly recognizes the remains of his Aunt Doria, surrounded by the bodies of 5 Death Eaters. It's the scene of a brutal battle, just frozen in time for over a decade. Sirius is just overcome with grief and rage, but he realizes his uncle's body isn't among the fallen in the hall. Driven to find him, he pushes deeper into this derelict manor, completely unaware that he is about to uncover a secret far more shocking than the grisly scene downstairs. As he moves through the silent house, he starts to hear something. It's not a footstep, not a creak, but this low, constant hum, almost like static from an old radio. The sound is pulling him upwards, past another fallen Death Eater, all the way toward the 4th floor. The sound gets louder as he gets closer to his uncle's study. And now he sees something else, a faint, totally unnatural glow spilling from under the door. He throws the door open, ready for a fight, but nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared him for what he was about to find.
So what was in there? It wasn't an enemy or another body. It was something else entirely. Something impossible.
This right here is the story's biggest twist. His uncle, Charles Potter, is alive, but he's trapped in the eye of what's being called a time storm, this magical vortex created by a shattered time turner. For over 10 years, he has been reliving the exact same 7 seconds, over and over and over again, completely conscious, but totally unable to break free. It's horrifying. Seeing his chance, Sirius just acts. In one fluid sequence, just as the loop restarts, he banishes the broken device, summons his uncle out of the storm, and throws up a shield just as all that unstable temporal energy implodes, aging everything left in the room 1,000 years in an instant. I mean, what an incredible act of instinct and raw magical power. So let's just recap for a second. In the span of a single day, the entire world of Harry Potter has been rewritten on 2 fundamental levels. The central friendship of the whole series has evolved into a romance, completely changing the trio's dynamic. And, maybe most shockingly of all, Harry Potter is no longer an orphan in the care of the Dursleys. He has family, a living Potter relative. And that leaves us with the biggest question of all. With a powerful, knowledgeable head of the Potter family back in the picture, how does that change the coming war? How does it change Harry's training, his protection, his entire understanding of who he is? Everything has changed, and this story is really just beginning.